Theresa May designed this next version of her Brexit deal to try and appeal to everyone. So she had something in it supposedly for everyone, but in turn what she seems to have done is pleased absolutely no one. And the headlines, Andrea, really have not been forgiving. Let's start with the Daily Telegraph this morning. The headline here, desperate, deluded and doomed. So it doesn't muck about. That's actually a quote from one MP. That was his response to Theresa May's deal when it was released yesterday. If we move on to the Guardian, May's final effort to win backing falls flat as MPs reject New Deal. And I think this probably gets to the crux of it. This is Theresa May's big problem. As soon as she announced the New Deal, already, this was yesterday, within minutes, there were MPs from all sides of the political spectrum taking to Twitter saying, we are not backing this deal, this is a horrible deal. Now, most of what she designed in that deal was to appeal to the main opposition Labour Party. Unfortunately, they don't seem to have taken the bait. Jeremy Corbyn, he's the leader, he said yesterday, I won't be backing this. Since then, Theresa May's written him quite a pleading letter saying, come on, I'm compromising here, surely you can come to the party a bit. He's now said, OK, we'll have a bit of a better look at the detail of your New Deal, but really from the face of it, we're not backing it. But I think more worryingly for Theresa May is the fact that more and more of her own MPs who were previously on board some of her earlier versions of her Brexit deal are now not on board. So the numbers for Theresa May's support when it comes to putting this deal to Parliament in a couple of weeks seem to be dwindling, and it would seem, Andrea, that it's very unlikely she's going to get this deal through Parliament when she tries. And finally, the Sun here. You'll be gurn in the morning. Now, this is a reference both to Theresa May's face that she's pulling here, gurn being a British word for pulling a horrible face, but also to the fact that the paper was predicting she would be gone in the morning because there is a movement within her own party now to try and expedite her resignation, to push her out of office. We understand that some of the backbenchers will be having a meeting today. They want to push her, and if she won't go, then they want to try and change the party rules so that they can make her go. At the moment, she's immune from being ousted by her own MPs until the end of the year, but they're trying to change that. So Theresa May really only hanging on by a thread.
Right. The word doomed seems very appropriate as for that first headline you were showing. But Sarah, let me ask you, I mean, what about the second referendum that we're hearing Theresa May is giving MPs the chance to vote on? What are the chances of that getting through?
Well, that's looking pretty slim as well, I have to say, Andrea. We know there's not really a consensus or a majority in Parliament for a second referendum. We know most of the MPs don't want it to go that way. Of course, there are some who do, but most of them don't. So if they do get the chance to have that vote, then it's very unlikely that they would vote for a second referendum. Keep in mind, they can only vote for a second referendum or have the opportunity to do so if they actually pass Theresa May's Brexit deal in the first place, and that's looking unlikely. So the idea of a second referendum is probably really not one we should be taking too seriously just yet, but don't count it out either, because this is Brexit and everything can change on a hairpin very, very quickly. Also worth pointing out, I think, Andrea, that so many MPs are against this latest version of the deal that many of them are now starting to question whether or not there should be a vote at all. There's some sort of push, actually from all sides of politics, to abandon Theresa May's Brexit deal, not put it to the vote in a couple of weeks. And I think if that sort of does get momentum, then you probably will see a leadership change much quicker than Theresa May had been expecting. And perhaps what will happen is the next Brexit vote we have will be under a new Prime Minister. And God only knows what sort of Brexit deal we'll get at that point.